In Steven Universe ongoing issue number 6, Pearl's having a frustrating week. She feels like nothing's really been going her way. And her usual attempts to blow off steam and try to recover a bit from that aren't really working. So the others talk to her about it and decide that maybe she should give wrestling with Amethyst a try. Not like with Amethyst, but like alongside Amethyst at Beach City's underground wrestling rink. They even design a wrestling persona for her that's themed appropriately for her to be Puma's partner. She's the Peach Panther, a clear reference to the Pink Panther. And before heading into the ring, Amethyst goes over the rules with her that they have to use proper human wrestling techniques. And we have to also kind of assume that this also means that they have to stick to using just like human levels of strength for their physique, that they have to limit themselves so as not to hurt people. Otherwise, some of the scenes in this issue just don't work, because even Pearl, even though she doesn't have as much super strength as like a Quartz, for example, has super strength relative to humans, right? But really the rest of the chapter is fight scenes, which is unusual for a Steven Universe comic chapter. Like, it's very action heavy, and at first Pearl just has no idea what to do. And then even once she starts to fight back, she's just kind of ballet dancing around the ring and getting out-techniqued by these humans who know how to do wrestling stuff better than she does due to experience. It isn't until Amethyst gets frustrated with her and then apologizes and then teaches her how to bring her frustration to the surface to use it to fuel her actions that Pearl starts to actually fight successfully, even defeating an opponent all on her own. But then when I can't remember what they're called, the handsome guys, you know what I'm talking about, when they come out, their power levels are a little too high, I guess, and she's not able to do anything to them solo, so she and Amethyst have to use some combo moves that they improvise on the fly that actually turn out to be pretty effective and were pretty neat, like, considering that the gems are technically objects, like they're people who are also things, since they're the stone, right? It's kind of interesting that Amethyst uses Pearl as a spear, and then at one point Pearl seems to pick up Amethyst and swing her around like a club. Like they're using each other as weapons, which was a neat concept, and an interesting way to get around the fact that they seemingly can't use more than human levels of strength by kind of combining their strength together. And between releasing her frustration and then doing some teamwork, Pearl is finding herself in better spirits. So even when it turns out that their final attack misses its mark and they lose, she still ends up laughing with Amethyst and having a good time. And by the end, she doesn't shut down the idea of doing more wrestling stuff in the future completely, but she implies that she's in a good enough headspace that she doesn't feel like she needs it anymore. And hey, these combo moves they came up with might be useful on their next mission. And it's super simple. Like, I skipped describing a lot of what happened because a lot of it's just action-y stuff that's worth reading the issue for. But it's super simple and yet so effective at the same time. Like, we see Pearl get really wound tight about stuff, is probably the best way to put it, all the time in the show. But we never really see how she deals with that, aside from just training, or cleaning, or organizing. Stuff like that. It's nice to see not only an acknowledgement that sometimes that stuff's not going to be enough, but that the others can help her with this. That they know her well enough to know the kind of thing that would be helpful to her in a situation like this, and it's cool to see her take them up on that. All in a way that allows her to share in an interest of one of the other gems. Like, you guys know how much I like any scenario where Pearl and Amethyst have to work together. I think the two of them have a really great dynamic with each other, and this chapter, I guess the best way to put it is it captures that really, really well, but in a way that the show never managed to do with this wrestling thing. It's also really neat to see in the Pearl-Amethyst dynamic something that Amethyst uses to unwind an interest of Amethyst's, being the one that brings Pearl out of her funk, showing that even though the show usually treats Amethyst's interests as if they're less refined than everyone else's, even somebody who is more refined comparatively like Pearl can find value in them. Not to mention that just revisiting Purple Puma and the wrestling scenario was a lot of fun in and of itself. Couple that with the fact that there were a couple of cute background gags with Garnet and Steven as they were watching the matches, and I thought this one was really great, and definitely another win for this series. All of that said though, guys, what do you think of Steven Universe ongoing issue number 6? If you have read it, let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, you might as well like the video, share it with anyone else you think would enjoy my content, subscribe if you haven't. You can also check out links to my various social medias as well as the many ways you can help out the channel. Those will be in the video description. But either way, this has been AJ22 and I will talk to you guys later.